to these people and the things that they believe in, you really don't believe in. I don't know. I can't even explain it. It's so retarded. You can't even put it into words. And therefore is my judgment. This is I'm gonna read 60 again. But they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them. And therefore is my judgment now at hand. So we're going to see the judgment of the Most High moving across the earth, and these people are going to try and explain it away with science. Well, the locusts come because they were mating and they were breeding because some oil spilt, so then they congregated over in this here, and then they mated so much, and then they had to find food, so they swarmed. It's like, what? So even if that was the case, the Most High did that. Because these people think they control everything. You don't control nothing. You don't control these storms. And if you did use so-called harp to create a storm, the Most High put it on you to create that. These people actually feel like they have free will. You don't have no free will, bro. You're in a trick bag. You're either a favorite character in the game, or you're the trash about to be put out. And these people are the trash about to be put out, so that they don't really want to acknowledge that. They don't want to accept their fate. They believe that they can go around doing whatever they want, and there's gonna be no repercussions, for it. They believe that their society is gonna go on forever, even though that their entire society is built on a lie and a joke and debt. As I said, our fathers have inherited lies, and they're soon gonna acknowledge that, because they like to look at so-called Negroes and ethnic people. Over here in the UK they call it BAME, I think, black and minority ethnics. That's the people that they're saying are most susceptible to corona. There's the same people whose organs you prefer over your own people's organs, who are meant to be genetically the strongest, are also the most susceptible to being sick. Now, everything that these people do is contradictory. They contradict themselves every single time they do something. Which is why they say they'll lower taxes one year, and yet when they get into office, they don't lower no taxes. And yet you're so stupid, you go and vote right again. Okay, you can tell me about some stuff. These things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee, which is the servants and his prophets, and a few like thee. Then answered I and said, Behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitude of the wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times, but at what time thou hast not showed me. And we don't know exactly when that day is going to be. All we know is that it's close, and we know that these prophecies are popping like popcorn, but people are so distracted by folly that they can't see the signs of the times. Even when you're going through here, you can see the spirit of the people. It's kind of left them, but they're still kind of in a deluded situation. It's kind of like you might be a drug dealer, and then there's the police at your door. You know what I mean? And instead of you panicking, you're like, oh well, it's cool, man, I'll be all right. And you got a key under your bed, you got gun, you got ammo stashed here, and you're like, no man, they won't find it. And they got a friggin' dog out. They got a dog K9 unit outside, and you're like, nah man, I'm not going to jail. You're going to jail, man. You're going into slavery, boy. How you mean you gonna make slaves out of people and it's not gonna come back on you? You're a dumbass, man. So these people make me laugh. I'm gonna read a few more scriptures here. What's this? Oh, I'm reading through Edris, and he's going through the prophecies. Well, this is second Edris, chapter 13, verse 23. He that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith towards the Most High. So we're working towards, building our faith and strengthening our faith. So when that time comes, we can be stable. Because wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. These people don't know what the hell is going on, because they just view things on a one-sided scale. We see things physically, and we understand things spiritually. So we understand things materialistically, and we understand things spiritually. But these people just understand things from a material and physical perspective, you know. And it says you're battling wicked. What's, and I'm paraphrasing. I'm gonna butcher the scripture, but it says, you know, basically you're battling spiritual wickedness in high places. But these people actually don't perceive that the people in charge of society are a bunch of, you know, blood drinking, you know, Baal worshipping, child sacrificing, pedophiles, murderers, basically just a family of scumbags. You know what I mean? These people don't perceive that. You know, if you had a politician come, regardless of who that politician is, they'll hail them up. They'll be like, oh, yeah. They want to take your photo with them, you know. But some people know in their spirit that these people are just basically degenerates, you know. Which is why you saw that, I don't know if it was a Judite, but it was a so-called black girl who was taking a photo with George Bush. And, you know, he was trying to push up on her, and she was like kind of backing away from him, because she felt in her spirit that he's a scumbag. He don't like her. George Bush is probably one of the most racist people, you know, that this planet has ever conceived, because he comes from a family of racists. So you know the apple don't fall far from the tree. But these people perceive these people to be, you know, much more greater, and you know, what's the word? Basically, they feel like these people have more capability than they actually do have. You know what I mean? Like, these people are just purely incompetent. You know, that's the word I'm looking for. These people think, you know, somebody like George Bush or Tony Blair or these leaders that they, you know, they so-called vote into their joke of a political system are competent. You know, if these people are competent, you'd have a well-running country, because you're in charge of the whole world. The world basically follows after these people, you know. America, which is Babylon the Great, which they don't want to acknowledge. And, you know, every other offshoot of that, where you're talking about the UK, Australia, New Zealand, you know, all these other so-called countries that you basically stolen from other people that you don't really want to acknowledge. Because even if you look at Europe, these people so-called call themselves indigenous European, which just sounds retarded. That doesn't even make no sense. You're not indigenous to Europe. You're indigenous to some place in Europe, but not all of Europe. And these people don't even know where that is, because they don't really understand their own history, because they go by what these people tell them, because they're a bunch of bum lickers that don't want to do any research for themselves. So they just go by what their so-called leaders tell them. And obviously, like, it's a joke that these people are leading you towards your own destruction, and you don't want to acknowledge it. You want to sit there like a bum, getting drunk, smoking weed, doing heroin, whatever drugs you want to do, and you feel like everything's going to be fine. So you just kind of putting off the problem until tomorrow. And I know all about that, you know. A lot of these people in the so-called truth, you've had that kind of life where all you did was smoke weed and drink. And you know, you end up in the same place. You're just spinning around in a circle. You don't really get nowhere. And this is I think I'm gonna finish out with this, because it's getting late. You know, the new moon, the day's pretty much over, sunset now. I wish I could have come here earlier, but it is what it is, man. This is chapter 4. This is chapter 14, sorry. Second Esdras, chapter 14, verse 13. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man, and put off now the weak nature. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. You know, so that's the mindset we're supposed to be in. You know, and the elder, you know, it's spiritual, because the elder was speaking on this earlier. You know, in our own houses, our own bodies, we're supposed to set ourselves in order first, because your body is the house of your soul. So set your house in order. Set yourself in order. You know, you learn the scriptures. Because it's what's the, and I keep paraphrasing scriptures and butchering them, but you know, it says to seek the Most High is just, you know, search for the Most High, just like you're searching for buried treasure. You know, so we're supposed to keep searching for the truth, and the ultimate truth is to understand that we're all creations of a creator. You know, we're not a bunch of free will amphibian / mammalian reptilian baby. You know what I mean? Because these people be talking the most amount of crap. They'll be like, oh well, the brain is mammalian and reptilian, all this other stuff, but y'all don't really have no answers for anything. So then how do you know something when you don't have the answers? Y'all don't have the cure for AIDS and cancer, and if you do, you're keeping it secret, so which just shows you that you're not righteous. So then if you do, so you're either too stupid to have a cure for cancer and HIV, yeah, in which case, if you're so stupid, why should we follow you? Or you have the cure and you're so dysfunctionally evil, you parasite ass people, that you want to keep it to yourself just so you can exploit people for a profit. So in either case, you're just completely incompetent as leaders. And you can see with this whole so-called I'm gonna call it Verona, this so-called corona crisis, how incompetent that these people are. Which obviously, you know, is planned, because at the end of the day, who's so incompetent that they're gonna shut down their economy and think, you know, it's gonna bounce back up? These times you was in the middle of a recession anyway. Your economy wasn't doing too well because it's based on debt anyway. But what you wanted to do was destroy it further so that these big businesses can really have a monopoly, you know, on the economic system, which doesn't make any sense, because at the end of the day, by you doing that, you're not going to have a middle class. So then what you're really trying to do is destroy the people. So then when you're trying to destroy the people and you look at it from that paradigm, it makes complete sense as to why they've dealt with the things, you know, the way that they've dealt with things. Because these people aren't really trying to help these people. But yet in the same token, these people will follow these people to the ends of the earth. And we're looked at as we're strange. These people are mad. You know, I'm going to leave off with that. You know, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh,